Still trying to heal from the narcissist and is not making traction. You've tried so many healing programs, you've been watching a ton of videos, but you're still feeling stuck. You're having recurring cycles with toxic bosses, partners, lovers, friends. You are done. You're done with the users and you just want to be happy. You want to have a good life. Hey changemakers, it's Julia Chow. Welcome back to my channel. I believe you already understand red flags, so discussing red flags countlessly is not going to help you. If you're really not sure about red flags, then you can go down to the description below and click on the red flags, green flags course. It's a little mini course that will give you all the different combinations of signs and traits that you can look for in a relationship to determine whether this is a safe or unsafe person for you. In most cases, you understand what red flags are. You know them, but you cannot respond to them in a healthy way when you encounter them. This is where the problem always is. It's not you recognizing, there's something wrong with that. It's about what do you do when you get there and you automatically want to either avoid it, make them feel comfortable, not say anything, pretend like you didn't hear it, see it, and move on. And this is where the work needs to be done. I'm gonna teach you this technique called the soft call out, which is a form of assertive communication. The sooner you do this in the earlier stages of the relationship and the more frequently you use it, the more effective it is. When you come across a new relationship, don't try to figure out whether this person is safe or unsafe. Don't jump to conclusions about how you feel or where this relationship could end up. Instead, you're looking for congruency and incongruency in a person. As humans, all of us say one thing and do another. Toxic people do it in high frequency. So you can start taking notes on people of what they say and what they do and how frequently do they breach their own words. This will give you a lot of tips on how to move forward with a relationship. What you can do from this point is to start calling it out gently when you notice the incongruency. And this in itself is assertive communication. When you're with a toxic person and you call out their inconsistency softly, they will get very angry, upset, or they will ghost you. Basically, they will bolt or get angry and fight with you. Somebody who is good for you in terms of someone who is on the healthy spectrum, they are able to reflect and look at themselves and have a conversation with you. This is a sign of emotional maturity, and emotional mature people are trustworthy. Calling out inconsistency softly has to start from very beginning. If you don't say anything and the person that you're dealing with is somebody not good for you, that person is testing you to see how much they can push the envelope. When you point it out, you're basically saying, I see you, I noticed that. It's irrelevant whether that person was actually toxic or somebody who's relatively healthy who made a mistake. When you call it out softly, it positions you as a leader and it gives you power in that relationship dynamic while holding them accountable. Let's say that somebody claims to be a very giving, generous person. Then you have an experience with this person where they're complaining about charities, asking you to donate $2. They are showing you that they're not congruent with who they said they were. At that point, you can say something along the lines of, I thought that you were a very giving, generous person. That will stop them at their tracks. Soft call out can progressively become stronger as a way to show the other party, give them the chance that they have the opportunity to change. I once had a client who talked a lot about their narcissistic mother and how harmed he was through that experience, how he was an empath, a giving and kind person. I observed a lot of narcissistic traits in this client. And one way that he showed that was through plagiarism. Seeing that the client was fairly young and that he may not understand the implications and the consequences of plagiarism. After several attempts, I finally sent him a text from a book. I believe it was a book by Thomas More that talks about that one of the first signs of narcissism is plagiarism. When I sent him the text, it seemed like nothing really changed for him. It didn't matter for him. He seemed to have a complete disconnection between his own behaviors and the text that he was reading. At that point, I was ready to let him go. But I also knew that at that point, he was no longer interested in my coaching. I will give you another example. One of my clients recollected the time that she was doing a phone interview with the CEO of the new company. The CEO turned out to be a monstrous, narcissistic, toxic boss. I asked her to reflect about the first 2 conversations she had with this person, and there were many signs of love bombing, and she did notice them. However, she defaulted back to her typical coping mechanism of going along and playing nice. In the love bombing situation, there were many inappropriate questions that this boss asked my client, trying to get more information to make her opt into his offer. And some of those questions that he asked her were about her personal life, about her marital status, her children, questions that are completely out of line when it comes to interviewing somebody. When my client went along with him, he knew that she was the right fit for that situation because he had pushed and crossed over boundaries, and she went along with it. She bought it. Therefore, he knew that she'd be easy to manipulate. If she had called it out, she would have never gotten that position. However, she would have avoided 9 months of hell in this situation, where then later she had to gather her dysregulated self into a place where she was getting sick because of the abuse and toxicity she was experiencing at work, and attempting to make good decisions in that dysregulated state, looking for a new job. Developing assertive communication is executive presence, which is leadership, and this is what's going to prevent you from further harm from narcissists and toxic people in the future, giving you the tools and the power to create the best outcome by playing your cards right in your current situation with a toxic person. When you're emotionally regulated, that gives you inner power. This is the missing link that you have been looking for when it comes to healing, developing yourself, and becoming a better leader, making more money, making sound, wise, abundant decisions. All of it really truly ties down to your emotional regulation and how you respond to your environment. We live in a toxic and narcissistic world that it is inevitable that you will come across these types of very difficult relationships, and your success is guaranteed by how well you navigate these relationships to whatever top that you're getting to in your industry. Navigating narcissism and toxicity is the key to being a good parent. How you manage yourself and you navigate these types of people is the key to your happiness, wealth, fulfillment in your life. If this is content helpful to you, please comment down below and I'll be sure to create more content like this. To do this work with us, please go down to the link down below and book a call with me now to get started on your empowered leadership journey to improve your executive presence to conquer your world.